Hello, welcome to another episode of In the Line of Wire, the webcast. Today I have with me Mr. AdnanLawai, who's the CEO of Folio3, which is a company based in Karachi. Hi Adnan.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Doing fine.
Would you tell us, describe in a nutshell what Folio3 does?
Okay, so Folio3 works with small companies, entrepreneurs. We work on outsourced software development, but it's a particular type of outsourcing that we work on. We work with startups and we work primarily on products. Most of our customers tend to be in technology clusters like Silicon Valley, like the Boston area, like the New York area. And we tend to do high-level product development.
Okay, so why don't we talk about a few of the exciting projects that you've done?
Okay, so we've been around for about 3 years, and actually in that time we worked with over 50 customers, but I'll talk about 2 or 3 which are currently going on.
Yeah, especially secretbuilders.com, which excites me a lot. The entire idea behind it.
Well. So Secret Builders is, you can think of it as a second life for kids. It's a virtual world where a child can go in and he has an avatar. He can make his own avatar to look like whatever he wants to. And then there are other characters. They're both computer-generated characters as well as other people with their avatars who are walking around in this world. And there are various worlds in there based on certain themes. You know, there's a sort of a haunted theme and an adventure theme and a sci-fi theme and
but
so on.
But there is something special about this as opposed to Second Life, right? There is an education element to it.
Right. So a child can wander around and he will interact with characters like Einstein and Rumi and Ghalib and so on. And so the idea is not just to entertain the child, but also to educate the child, right? But to do it in a way that, the primary approach is entertainment.
Okay.
Right? And then there are games in this, there's many games that we've developed. Kid can go in and, test his talents against, computer-generated games.
And what's been the initial response to
the initial response has been great. I mean, we're getting hundreds of people signing in every day. It was just launched about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's in beta right now, and there are kids all over the world, from schools, we've done very limited, well, the customer in this case has done very limited press coverage and so on, but it has brought in a lot of children who are interested in this.
Okay, now tell me, is it limited to kids, or supposing I think I need to...
Well, it's limited to kids of all ages.
Okay.
So if you consider yourself a kid, go ahead.
Okay, great.
I have a great time there.
Okay, terrific. Now, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of really interesting projects that we're working on. So for example, there's a customer of ours called MediaMorph. They're building the next generation advertising platform for the web.
Okay.
This is for video advertisements. So you had platforms like DoubleClick, for example, that would put images in there. And there were algorithms, fairly fancy algorithms that would calculate, which sites, how much traffic was coming on each site, and what kind of content and how people were reacting to ads and so on. So all of that logic, and in fact, much more than that, is now going into serving video ads and measuring how people react to those ads, and then how to place those ads accordingly on which sites and on
and is it up already, or are you working on it at the moment?
It's in beta right now, so it is up, but it at sort of limited rollout. The customer in this case, MediaMorph, is working with the likes of Time Warner and Sony and E-Online, and it's in the process of being rolled out.
So all the work for these projects has been done here in Pakistan, all the development work?
Primarily in Pakistan. We also have an office in Bulgaria, in Sofia. So for example, some of the animation work for Secret Builders and some of the infrastructure, the software infrastructure work for Secret Builders was done in Bulgaria. A lot of the games, a lot of the graphic design was done here. MediaMorph has been essentially done all here. I mean, there's obviously developers in the New York office at MediaMorph who are working with the team here in Karachi.
Sure. Okay, terrific. And there was one more project that I wanted you to talk about, which was Diagnosis One.
Yeah, so Diagnosis One has been a long-time customer. It's another really exciting project. It's basically an expert system that helps doctors make diagnoses and prescriptions. So the issue with doctors, as I'm sure all of you will understand, is that sometimes they make mistakes. And this is a computer-based system. There are teams of doctors that have put in symptoms and what that indicates in terms of a diagnosis. Right?
So if you're not a very good doctor, this will help you prescribe the right medication.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So it's an expert system. The other part of it is they have a disease surveillance system, which is actually, again in beta, it's being rolled out in Pakistan and some other developing countries. So that basically, you'll have a system within a clinic or a hospital. If somebody walks in with an epidemic type disease like hepatitis or AIDS and so on, that information goes into the system and then it gets gathered in a central location so that you can track how a disease is spreading. So public health organizations, government health organizations and so on.
Very useful as well for the third world.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Adnan. That was really interesting. I wish we could talk more about what Folio 3 is up to, but it's been great talking to you and seeing, hearing from you what kind of work is being done in Pakistan. The fact that you're working with your Bulgarian office and the US office and they're all working in synergy, that's great to know. And we wish you luck in all your future projects. So that was another episode of In the Line of Wire. Thank you for being with us. Thanks to Adnan for joining us for this episode. And until next time, this is Jahara signing off.